Hello viewers and listeners, welcome to another lesson for the social and environmental studies of the upper basic component. Now before we start our new lesson, once again I am Bakari MC Sane coming to present the lesson. Now before we present this lesson, an assignment was given during the past lesson, and the question or questions read. Now number one, the early explorers to the west coast of Africa came from where? If you could remember, this was a question retrieved from the lesson entitled The Gambia's Early Contacts with the Wider World. So the answer to question 1 is Portugal. Portugal. And not Portuguese. The answer is Portugal, because the question is asking for the name of the country and not her people. Now question 2 reads, which has a sub-question. 2A reads, who was the first explorer to visit the Gambia? Now the answer is Alviso de Cadamosto. Alviso de Cadamosto. Now, question 2B reads, in which year did he first arrive in the Gambia? The answer is the year 1455. The question asked for the first year of his visit. This was in 1455. Remember, Alviso de Cadamosto visited the Gambia in 1456 as well. So the answer to this question is 1455. Good. Now, our today's lesson is entitled Map Interpretation. Now before we start, let's look at the introductory remarks of our today's lesson. Now, what is this lesson all about? Now this lesson teaches learners about the concept of maps and will help them to have a better understanding of the types of maps. With a better understanding of the types of maps, now the learner should be able to appreciate the importance of maps in our daily lives. Now, this brings us to the lesson proper. Now, what is a map? A map is a representation of path or the entire Earth's surface on a medium such as paper, cloth, wall, or on a board. A map is a representation of the entire earth surface on a medium such as paper, cloth, wall, or board. For example, most of the maps we do come across daily is mostly found on paper or on a cloth or wall, that is the wall to a building, for example, classroom wall, or on a board, for example, blackboard or whiteboard. Now, a map shows how things are related to each other by distance. For example, you want to know the distance in kilometers from Kanifing to Banjul. One of the easiest ways to know the distance between Kanifing and Banjul is to study a map. Another benefit a map shows is direction. Direction. You want to know the direction of a particular place, for example, a hospital. The easiest way to know the direction of that hospital is to use the map in which that hospital is found. Another feature found on a map is size. A map enables us to know whether a particular place is very big indeed or it is small. If you remember in one of our lessons, we made mention of the Gambia location, size, and extent. And in that lesson, we've stated that the Gambia is one of the smallest countries in West Africa. Or we can say the Gambia is one of the smallest countries in Africa. But that doesn't mean the Gambia is the smallest in West Africa or is the smallest in the continent of Africa. We gave an example of a country that is also smaller than the Gambia, and that is the Cape Verde Islands. Now, an atlas is a book of maps. Why are we mentioning the term atlas here? Is because we are looking at the definition of map. And one might wonder where these maps could be found. So basically an atlas is a book of maps, or in other words, is a book with a collection of maps. Now, if you look into an atlas, you will see different types of maps. And all these different types of maps were drawn by people. That is the reason why we are coming to look at this statement, which reads, a person who draws maps as a profession is called a cartographer. A person who draws maps as a profession is called a cartographer. Now this brings us to the types of maps. Now basically there are different types of maps. We are coming to give few examples here. There are different types of maps. Now among them are political maps, topographic maps, population maps, relief maps, climatic maps, vegetation maps, geological maps, etc. Now before we look at a diagram of some of these different types of maps, let's briefly discuss or explain what each of these type of map meant. Now, a political map is a map which shows the administrative regions in a particular place. For example, we've talked about the Gambia having 5 main administrative regions and 2 main urban areas, namely Banjul municipality, which is headed by a mayoress, and Kanifing municipality, which is headed by a mayor, followed by names of regions like the West Coast region, Lower River region, Central River region, etc., etc. So that is an example of a political map. A topographic map is a map which shows some physical features. What are some of these physical features? Some of these physical features are a river, an ocean, a hill, a lake, an island, etc., etc. Now, a population map is a map which shows the population density of a particular place. A relief map is a type of map which shows some relief features. What are some of these relief features? Is desert, for example, a highland, river, etc. Now the climatic map mainly entailed some climatic patterns of a particular place. A vegetation map shows the plant cover of a particular environment. It could be savanna or a temperate region or a tropical rainforest area. A geological map is a type of map which shows the types of rocks found in a given place. Now this brings us to a careful study of the different types of maps. Now here is a political map of West Africa. If you look at this political map of West Africa, it indicated all the countries in West Africa, followed by some countries in North Africa and some countries in Central region of Africa. So basically, a political map of West Africa is the type of map which indicates countries and the border or borders that they share with other countries. The next diagram is a topographic map of West Africa. Now, what is this topographic map of West Africa about? It is showing you the highland areas in West Africa and the lowland areas in West Africa. For example, one of the highland areas in West Africa is Guinea-Conakry, and one of the lowland areas in West Africa is the Gambia. The next map is a road map of the Gambia. Now, what is a road map? This is a type of map which indicates the main road networks in the Gambia. Like in the Gambia, there are two main road networks, and this is the North Bank route and the South Bank route. The North Bank route is from Bara to Pasamas, while the South Bank route is from Katong to Basse. So basically, these are just samples of the types of maps. The next type of map we will be studying is a climatic map of West Africa. Now, what is this climatic map of West Africa? Is the map which has or which entails the climatic classes in West Africa. Like, for example, the equatorial monsoon, the tropical savanna, the warm semi-arid area, and the semi-arid desert. Now, the next map is a vegetation map of Africa. If you look at the vegetation map of Africa, this indicates the different types of vegetation found in the continent of Africa, like temperate steppe, subtropical rainforest, monsoon forest, arid desert, semi-arid desert, grass savanna, and so on and so on. Now the next map we are studying is a geological map. This is a type of map which indicates the different types of rocks found in a particular place. Like you go to some places, you will see an igneous rock. In some locations is found a sedimentary rock or a metamorphic rock. So basically there are different types. So a map possessing those features is called a geological map. Now this brings us to the importance and uses of maps. Remember, we've discussed the different types of maps. Now we are now coming to look at their importance and uses. Now, one of the importance of a map is to find the shortest route between two places. For example, assuming that I want to visit a patient at the Serekunda General Hospital, but actually I don't know the location of Serekunda General Hospital, and where I am is Yundum. I'll just need a map of where Serekunda General Hospital is located, and the moment that map is at hand, I will be able to locate where Serekunda General Hospital is situated, provided that the right type of map is with you. Because assuming that you are with a vegetation map, this will not show the location of the Serekunda General Hospital. Instead, what you will need is a map which has the main settlements in the region where Serekunda General Hospital is found. Now, another importance of a map is that it educates people on what? On locations and directions of places. Location and direction of places. Now this brings us to some of the uses of maps. Among the uses of maps include, number 3, maps are used by people to find places that they've never seen before. Like assuming that I have never been to Guinea Conakry and I'm not a native of West Africa at all. The easiest way to locate Guinea Conakry will be to get a political map of West Africa. So with a careful study of this political map of West Africa, I will be able to know where Guinea Conakry is actually situated. Now, the next use of a map is that pilots of airplanes and ships use maps to navigate. Like in one of the lessons, you were told that some European explorers and navigators visited the Gambia. Now, by that time, some of those navigators and explorers were making good use of maps by that time. So that is the meaning of this statement. Pilots of airplanes and ships use maps to navigate. The next is features of a map. Now, what do you understand by that phrase? Features of a map. Now, it means what makes a good map, or what is entailed in a good map, or what is entailed in a map that qualifies it to be called a standard map. That's what is meant by features of a map. And they are as follows. 1, scale. Scale. 2 is the key, otherwise called legend. Next is the grids. The next one is direction and title. Now, every good map must possess these features. I repeat: 1, scale; 2, key or legend; 3, grids; 4, direction; and 5, title. Now, let's look at each of them briefly. Now, what is a scale, or what is the use of a scale? Now, the scale is the part on a map which determines the distance between places. For example, on maps, the distance between places usually is in centimeters, in short cm, but on the real ground it is in kilometers or miles. But the most common one is the one done in kilometers. Now, grids are those lines on a map which distinguish one place from another. In other words, grids are the various lines you come across on a map. For example, the lines of latitude and the lines of longitude, etc. Now, direction on a map is usually noticed by cardinal points. For example, like the one that is on the board just now. This is an example of a cardinal point. But which type of cardinal point is this? This is called the 4 compass points, or the 4 cardinal points. Now, the tip of the cardinal point is called the needle of the compass. And this needle on the compass points at the direction called north. So, this direction is called the east. Then the bottom direction is called the south. Now, whilst the side next to the southern direction is called the west. Next is the title. Now, title is what differentiates a map. Yes. To know that this is a political map of a particular place, it must bear the title a political map of, for example, West Africa. A road map of the Gambia, that is the title. A vegetation map of Nigeria, that is the title to that map. A geological map of Guinea-Conakry, that is the title to that map. Now, if you look at this map, now if you look at this road map of the Gambia, we are seeing all the features that we've talked about or discussed. You can see where the horizontal line is drawn with numbers 0, 25, 50 km, which is kilometers. That is an example of a scale. And at the bottom of it is written 25 miles. So the horizontal line on a map with figures written in this form is known as a linear scale. This is a scale, but which type of scale is this? It's a linear scale. What makes it a linear scale is because the scale is drawn on a straight line and in a horizontal form for that matter. Now, where it is written legend, followed by symbols and their representations like country, boundary, major road, other road, river, major city, country capital, airport, point of interest, national park, that is known as the legend, otherwise called key. Now, if you look at it again, you can see on top written the Gambia, a road map of the Gambia, and on the left hand side of the map you can see the writings the Gambia. So that is the title of this map. So you can see basically all the features we've talked about is found on this map. So therefore this type of map will be called a standard map, or in other words, a good map. Now, before we come to the end of our lesson, here is an assignment. Question 1 reads, define a map. Define a map. Question 2, a person who creates maps as a profession is called a dash dash. Question 3, define the term atlas. Viewers and listeners, this brings us to the end of this lesson. I thank you all for sparing us your time watching this program and listening as well. Once again, stay put at home and adhere to the standards set aside by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization. Thank you.